A one-line code change just got blocked by AI. Payment retries dropped from 3 to 1. Zero tests were covering it. Pipeline failed automatically. That just saved a production bug. Hi there, I'm Samaj, having 13 years of experience in banking and fintech. This is our B10X with AI series on NextGenQA. Today, we are going to build an AI risk analyzer inside GitHub Actions. I will be completing it from scratch. It reads every code change, checks test coverage, and guards your pipeline before any human reviews it. Full project will be present on GitHub and link will be present in the description. Let's start building it step by step inside NextGenQA. Okay guys, so let's get started. Welcome to NextGenQA. In this project, we are going to build a smart CI which will be responsible for acting as a guardian in your whole CI pipeline. It will flag if there are any sort of errors which are not covered by a normal pipeline, and how we will see that how the AI is going to act as a guardian in the whole process. So this is a sample Java project. I'll be walking you through this step-by-step project, and also will be covering all the necessary workflows which we have designed in this project. Also, there is a detailed steps.md file which I have written so that you can reproduce the same thing at your end. In case of any confusion or clarity required, you can always mention in the comment section so that I can help you out. Okay, so I'll start with walking through the project first. So this is a base class. Simple few test cases are written. You can see add to cart test and login test is there. As we haven't done anything major, we have just launched the Chrome browser. I have set this options just to avoid some pop-ups and rest of the things. We have initialized the Chrome driver so that our Chrome browser can open up. Okay. Then we have two tests, add to cart and login test. I am taking this particular website for our demo purpose, sourcedemo.com. You can see in this website, it is essentially a website having a login page with username and password, and there are few username which are pretty standard: user, logged out user, problem user, and every user has the same password of secret sauce. Okay, so this is our website. In the login test also, I have just opened this URL. I have found some element and then put an assertion over the URL part. Okay, so before going to the AI portion and rest of the things, just try to run our test first and see if everything is working fine for us or not. Okay, so I'm just triggering MV and test. Let's see if our project tests are running properly or not. So you can see the MV and test, Maven test have already started. And if I see the browser is opening up, because I have included two tests, so 2 times browser is opening up and it got closed. Okay, in the testng.xml you can also see that I have added 2 tests, login test and add to cart test. Okay, so these things are there. Now coming on to the pom.xml. So pom.xml is important. I'm using compiler target as 11. Also Java version 11 I'm using, along with few of the dependency. One is testng, then JSON dependency, then there is Surefire plugin as well, which is essentially covering our testng.xml. So internally pom.xml is firing our testng.xml, and testng.xml itself is firing these 2 test cases, login test and add to cart test. Okay, so far so good. I think we are clear till here. In case of any doubt, let me know. Okay, then there is one config.property file. This is important, where I have added my OpenAI API key. I've also listed this inside the git ignore so that you don't commit it by mistake. If you see .git ignore, you can see this config.property is already added here. Of course, I'll rotate my key after this project. And now coming on to the 2 main files which I want to walk you through. One is a payment helper.java. So payment helper.java is simple payment class where we are defining some retries, some retry delays. Then there is an order ID, double amount, and rest of the things. Also there is a catch clause in which we are making the attempt of max retries. So in order to understand the whole CI, see, this is a payment helper.java. You can have any class. It doesn't really matter whether it's a payment helper or any other class. What I want to demonstrate here is that once you put your AI analyzer inside any CI pipeline, it will automatically check for coverage portion and rest of the things, whatever you want to give as a risk analysis. Okay, so coming on to the risk analyzer.java, it will make you understand that how everything is working. So in the public class risk analyzer, there are few methods which are written. So first thing first is main method. We will cover this later. And there is a read API key. So this read API key method is doing nothing. It is just loading the property file and also reading the open API key from this config.property. So far so good. Now coming on to the next portion, which is get difference. So this is the main method which is responsible for a lot of things. So what we are going to do is in the get difference, what it is going to do is it will compare the last commit with the current commit, so that it will understand that if there are any get differences, what exactly are they, along with the test summary, whatever the tests have been run against. Those things are going to get passed to OpenAI in order to understand that whether there is any uncovered area or not. So this is the whole responsibility of get difference. So if we'll see get difference, it will just take the difference between head 1 and head. So current head and the last commit. Okay. It will also find out what are the get differences, and then these differences are going to get passed to the OpenAI. Okay, so this is get difference. Then other method is get test summary. So this get test summary is going to read all the test results from the Surefire XML report, which will automatically get generated when you run the ambient test command. So from XML reports itself, it will try to find what is the test summary, how many tests are being passed, how many are failed, how many errors are there. These things will be pretty much present inside the get test summary method. Okay, then I have extract attribute method. This is essentially just to extract the attribute from the XML report itself. Then this is the main method, which is analyze risk. So analyze risk, if you can see, this is taking three things. One is API key, which is of course OpenAI API key, which will be coming from read API key method. Then difference, get difference will be coming from this method, private static string get difference, and then the test summary will be coming from this method, get test summary. So if I'll expand this method, you will see all the things coming sequentially here. Okay, so first thing first is we are defining the prompt for OpenAI. So prompt is you are a strict CI risk analyzer, analyze the following PR difference and test the result. So we are passing the test summary. You can see this variable. We are also passing the get difference. You can see this variable as well. Then it will essentially categorize the risk with high, medium and low. So it will find out that whether a risk is high category, medium category or low category. So how will it find? It will find with the help of test summary and get differences. If there is change code which has no direct test coverage, it will mark it as high. If the change code has partial or indirect test coverage, you can mark it as medium. Similarly, if change code is fully covered by existing tests, there is no risk or low risk. Okay, you can of course add more and more conditions inside this prompt. I'm just giving an example with the test coverage point of view. If you think there are multiple conditions which you need to pass for high, low and medium risk, you can add it. Maybe I have covered the coverage portion. You can maybe cover with the syntactical portion. You can also cover with some mandatory test you think should be present always. So you can categorize those tests as well, and you can add more and more conditions here. Okay. So once this prompt will go, what OpenAI will do is it will mark the current level of coverage as low, medium and high. And finally, we are sending all the request and body and everything to OpenAI. And finally, OpenAI will give the reply that what it thinks about this particular PR. Okay, so analyze risk will do that, and finally it will also write that to GitHub summary that what is something what AI thinks about the whole process. Now once I got this, that okay, this is high risk, medium risk, low risk or whatever, now the main condition check is going to happen in the main method. So in the main method, if you'll see, there is CI Sentinel risk analyzer. Then here is the portion which is responsible for everything. So it says if the difference dot equal is node if available, there is no difference. Let's say there is no previous commit, then there will be no difference available, of course, and it will simply pass the pipeline. But let's say our report, if the risk level is containing high, then it will simply block the pipeline via system.exit1. So exit code 1 is something which determines whether a pipeline will fail. And if there is not a high risk category, let's say medium or low, then we are passing the pipeline with system exit 0. So this is the key point which is going to happen here. And now there comes a point, let's say, okay, this is fine, risk analyzer.java is doing these things and basically it is passing or failing our CI pipeline, but how it is being injected inside the pipeline at the first place. So for that, what we have done is I have included that inside our ci.yaml file. So in YAML file, if you will see this last stage, which is AI risk check, in the AI risk check, I have included two things. One is I will be storing my secret OpenAI key. I'll show you that process, that how we are storing this API key so that our CI knows that, okay, we have the Open API key. And the last step is we will be running this risk analyzer class as well in the CI. Okay. Now coming on to one more thing, which is on our base class, I have also added one thing, which is, let's say our environment is CI, then we are running the Chrome browser in the headless mode, because of course on the CI there will be a Linux machine, Linux box, and there won't be any browser available. Okay, so in the ci.yaml, if you see, we are using setup Java 4 and also Ubuntu latest. So this is the environment which I am triggering. This is pretty standard practice on the GitHub action. So let's try to see everything in action now. So I'm going through this steps.md so that it will be very clear to you that how we are doing everything. So you can see, make sure you have these installed. So we pretty much have Java, Maven, Git, Google Chrome, GitHub account, Open API key, everything, right? Now we want to have config.property, which is also present here. Open API key is also here. And now we have already run our test, ambient test. This is running fine. If you want to run your AI risk analyzer locally, this is also you can do. It will not give any error as of now because there is no commit history for it to analyze. So it requires at least 2 git commits from the past commit and latest commit so that it analyzes the difference and flags the errors. Okay, now coming on to the GitHub repository. So let's push everything on the GitHub first. I'm just opening my browser. Let's create a GitHub repository for this project. So let's say I click on plus, new repository. Here I'll name it, let's say Smart CI. Okay, and I will put some description as well. Smart CI is CI with AI engine for workflows. Okay, some good description. Then just creating the repository here. So repository is now created. Let's push our changes. So I'll just open my terminal and let's initialize the repository, git init, git add dot for all the things added, and then git commit -m, let's say first commit. Okay. Now, before pushing it further, I like to add my OpenAI API key in the settings secrets variable. So I'm going to the settings part, and in the secrets and variables, in the action section, GitHub action section, I'll add a new repository secret. So let's say I add OpenAI API key. What's my API key here? In the config.property. Let's copy this. Okay, so I've copied this whole secret key and add secret. Okay, so far so good. Now let's try to push this. Okay, it is asking for the remote edition. Sorry, I haven't done it. So let's add the remote and let's try to push it now. So it is saying that set the upstream. Let's set the upstream. Okay, as soon as I'll push because of our YAML, it should also trigger our workflow. So let's go inside the action tab. Let's first see whether everything has been committed. Yes. Inside action tab, you can see our pipeline is already been triggered because of YAML. So if you see ci.yaml, you can see there is a AI risk check stage. This has already been there. So ci.yaml, if I come to jobs, you can see the job name is AI risk check. So this portion is already included AI risk check. And because as of now, this is our first commit, so it doesn't have any sort of history to analyze. So AI risk analysis will be pass risk acceptable pipeline approved by AI. There is nothing which is including a specific PR difference or anything. That is because this job is completed. Now coming on to the next step where we will intentionally push a change which is not covered by our existing test. So the whole idea is that once we do that, automatically AI will punish that thing and it will block our pipeline. So going back on our steps.md, let's say I close this. We have completed that here, created a GitHub repository, pushing the project, adding the OpenAI API key as the GitHub secret as well, and now verify the pipeline runs. This is also done. Okay, now introducing the risky change, the demo. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in the payment helper class, let's say max retries is equal to 1. So what I'm going to do is I will change few things here. So before that, let's say my payment retry is 1, I'll change it to some other value and then I'll push that change into a different branch. Okay, so let's create a different branch first. So let's say I create a branch git checkout b risky payment change. Okay, this is my branch name. So let's say I create this and I have already checked out as well. And now coming out of the payment helper, let's say I change the value from 1 to 3. I change it to 3. Okay. Now, once this is done, I'll push the changes. So let's say I add the changes first, payment helper.java. I'll commit the changes, payment retry count optimization. You can have any commit message. Okay. And finally, I'm pushing this change. So as soon as I'll push this change, again my CI will trigger and this time it will have the difference. But before that, I have to open a pull request. So let me just push the change. Okay, so my change is being pushed, going back to our UI, and inside this, you can see there is a pull request coming. Risky payment change had recently pushed changes less than a minute ago. So let's compare and pull. And because of this, already there is a git difference present. So add a title is optimize payment retry count. This is coming from the commit message itself. And demo to check AI CI engine. Okay, this is done. And as soon as I'll create the pull request, it will automatically have the git difference. It will also have the test summary because ambient test will anyway run in the previous step. You can see in the CI YAML as well that in this portion, ambient test is already been done. So it will extract the details from Surefire XML report along with the git differences. It will send to OpenAI as per the prompt, which is given here, riskanalyzer.java. You can see this is already inside the analyze risk method, right? Your restrict CI risk analyzer difference will go, test summary will go. It will automatically mark the whether high risk, low risk or medium risk. And basis on that, this condition will execute. If high risk, then system.exit1 means pipeline will fail. Okay, so let's create the pull request and see everything in action. So I have created the pull request and you can see merge pull request is paused. It will automatically show that okay, everything is fine, we can merge, but CI Sentinel pipeline check is already started. Okay, let's see. Running of test is happening. So far so good. And post this, our AI checks will trigger. Okay, because it's a fresh build, so it is downloading everything. You can see our AI risk check has already started executing. Okay, it is running and sending to OpenAI for risk analysis, and it failed. So you can see change module is payment helper, test covering it. No, there are no details provided about the test that ran, hence we cannot confirm if the change code is covered. Okay, risk level is high, so pipeline got failed. So this is the whole thing which I wanted to demonstrate, that how you appended an AI check inside your pipeline. You send the git differences, you send the test summary, and then you blocked your pipeline based on the coverage. If you want to add more and more condition on the AI risk checker, you can always do that, but make sure to send the proper context to AI so that it can understand what it needs to do. This is the part where you can block via system exit 1 and system exit 0. Guys, I hope you liked the video, you understood the concept. In case everything is good, please consider subscribing the channel. In case of any doubts, please ask your question in comments. This all code will be available on GitHub for you to replicate on your own machine and further add these steps into your own CI pipeline. I hope you liked the video. We will be continuing making more and more videos of this type, so stay tuned to the journey. Okay, also one thing I wanted to show you on the pull request side, that's you can see this pull request has already been failed, so merge is not happening. Okay, I hope you understood the concept. We'll meet in the next video. We'll create more and more like this so that it will make you 10x engineer with the help of AI. Thank you.